Realtors, don't be afraid to walk away from business because sometimes it's a gift to yourself, right? I'm Kathy Byrnes, and this is Real Estate Riches. If you like this kind of talk, subscribe below and let's have a conversation. So, years back, when I was really struggling in this business, probably 2010 or so, and I was still struggling because the market was so bad back then. It had crashed in 2008. It always takes a while to come back, but and I was starting at zero when I got into the business. So it was a lot to kind of get going. I had a business partner at the time, and we had a client who was from up north. My business partner was from Long Island. So she gets the style better than I do. And I think it's a culture. And it's easy if that's not your culture of so in your face to get offended. Well, anyway, we had a waterfront land listing with this particular client. He was married, and we were going to go over there to discuss the update of why their land wasn't selling. Nothing was selling, and it was really a garbage lot. It was sitting on mud, basically. When the water would go down, the it was just turned into mud. It was at the back of a cove. So it was far from an attractive lot. And we had it priced at 100,000, which we told him was high, but he wouldn't listen. And anyway, so we're coming over there to talk to him about that lot and also to list his house. And the price point on the house was around 350,000. We knew we could probably sell that much better. And so we came all prepared as we always do. I'd done the comps, and Patty had prepared all the paperwork, and we were coming there. And we're sitting down at the table, my business partner Patty and I, and him and his wife, who is very quiet. And he is very abrupt. Now, I do think he had back issues, so he was cranky. I don't know if his medicine had kicked in that day. Well, anyway, we're all sitting at the table. He wanted us to put a 100-foot rope on a special helium type balloon that would be red so that people could see the lot as they were driving far away, to be able to see the lot and wonder, what's that balloon? And come maybe take a look at the lot. And I said, no, we're not going to do that because it didn't make sense. And also, he was looking for us to pay for that too. Who knows where I'd have even gotten that? And I'm pretty creative, and I don't mind a good idea. So don't think I shoot things down. I don't. I'm very open to creative ideas on marketing. But that one was not going to work because I knew the lot. No one wanted the lot. It was a piece of garbage. You were lucky to get it at 50,000 and hope that you could just use your paddle boards or your kayak on the lake because you weren't using a boat there. So we had already presented information about the house and the comps on it and everything, but he was stuck on that lot. And all of a sudden, he takes the paperwork and he just shoves it across the table at me because I usually do the pitching when it's our partnership. And Patty fills out the forms. And he says, this is never going to work. I said, you're damn right it's not going to work. And I grabbed that stuff. I said, I wouldn't want to work with you anyway. I don't like your style. And so he goes, get out of my house. I said, gladly. And so he's following me. He's right on my heels and slams the door behind me. Now here's Patty. She's sitting there with the wife, and they're just kind of looking at each other like, what just happened? Patty, she's ticked at me because I just blew a $350,000 deal. And anyway, Patty says to the wife, well, I guess we won't be having your business. I'll send you the termination papers on the land. She goes, okay. And so Patty comes out to the car. She gets in the car. She goes, what the hell's the matter with you? I said, me. I don't want to work with people like that, Patty. Life's too short. I don't want that kind of jerk in my life. And I need the commission. She didn't as much. She was much more secure than I was, but I needed that commission. But honestly, I never want to work with people that are going to be so disruptive and controlling. He was rude to his wife. That was really part of it that was driving me nuts. He was demeaning to her when we were sitting there. I didn't like his style. He was just rubbing me the wrong way. And I thought, you know what? Life is short. I am not going to live my life where because I need the paycheck, that I have to put myself in a situation where I work with people that I don't like their integrity. I don't like their style. I don't like how rude he was to me. If he had a difference of opinion, fine. But to be an ass, sorry, I'm swearing a lot on here. brings up a lot of emotion. Anyway, I just I didn't want to do it. And I said to Patty, I won't work with a guy like that. And she goes, fine, I'll take care of all the jerks and you take care of all the other ones. I go, perfect. And she did. And our partnership really was great. We had a partnership for 7 years. And anybody that was like that, I said, I'm having nothing to do with them. And she took over. We had another couple, which was a sad situation, where we had husband and wife that were going through divorce, and the wife was used to him doing everything. And they'd been married, shoot, 25, 30 years. And he'd found another woman and he was moving on. He just wanted her out of that house. And it was a waterfront home. 1.7 was the price point that he wanted on it and insisted on it. And it was a referral to me. So I try and be reasonable with people, but this guy, again, total jerk. I said, Patty, you're going to have to handle this one. Let me deal with the wife because she is an emotional wreck. They had lost their daughter a couple years prior, and she hadn't gotten over it, and that's why he'd moved on. He was like done with it. They'd adopted this little girl from birth, and she was killed in a car accident, I think around 16 or 17. And the wife was just devastated. And he was such a bully to her. I don't like bullies, clearly, right? So we had that listing and we promoted it all over the place, did all kinds of things. And I would meet with her and Patty would meet with him. And we had that for about 6 months, but he had put the price so high because what he wanted. And I told him, I said, you are $400,000 off on this price. We're not going to get an offer. And he goes, you got to start high and then you go down. I said, how many houses have you sold? He goes, I've sold houses, bought and sold houses all over the world. I know more than you do. Okay, well, I know Lake Norman, and this is wrong. The number is, I think the number was 1.2. 1.2 it ended up at. Which I originally told him that number, but he wouldn't go with it. He just wouldn't. He wouldn't reduce it at all. So it sat on the market for 6 months. We worked our tails off. We invested in it. We did broker luncheons. We did everything. And here's the lesson to you realtors that I didn't take on just because it was a referral and we're working with somebody who wouldn't budge and wouldn't work with us. He's not a team player. When you're doing business out here, you want team players. I learned my lesson. That was back in, I think that was 2010. I really learned my lesson through the years that when I sit on a listing appointment, I want to find out, are we team players? And I let them know, you're interviewing me and I'm interviewing you because I'm about to go work like crazy to market your home. Why? Because I get paid at the end of the day. I want raving fans at the end of the day. I want a partnership. I want a team play. If we don't feel like we're a jive or you don't feel like it with me and I don't feel like it with you, I'm going to say, I'm going to wish you the best and let you go with somebody else. Because the truth is, we don't have to do this. If you're looking for the cheapest person, I'm not your gal and I'm not the most expensive. I just do a fair rate. And honestly, sometimes I discount my rate because I can tell that this will probably move pretty quick. I'm still going to be doing a ton of marketing, but I'm not giving away my services. I am valuable. And I want you to believe that. If you're going to hire me, I want you to know it and believe it in your heart based on what you see of what I can do. I'm also a luxury agent with EXP. I have expertise to go all over. And I have studied this lake like crazy. So that's the other thing. You need to be an expert in what you're doing. You've got to do your homework, not where you stop and do all of this to learn it all up front. You've got to be working forward and growing. And it does take a while to get your confidence down. When I'm on a listing presentation, I am extremely confident. And you could be brand new and still confident if you knew your stats, if you knew that things like if you were a waterfront person and you said, well, I'm going to study this waterfront, you got that down and you interviewed other agents maybe that had sold waterfront properties and said, what are some of the challenges that you face? Where you learned this, you did your homework, you checked out that neighborhood, you do that type of background research on your properties. But I'm telling you, the most important thing that you do is interview your clients because I was hungry, both those situations, and I took a thing on that I knew I shouldn't. Honestly, I was really trying to save her because he was such a jerk and I didn't like him. And my Patty was taking care of him and she pacified him and she could talk to him and that worked okay. He ended up dropping us after 6 months, put her with another agent, put it at the price that I said and sold it right away. This is another thing I'll tell you. It's a great thing to be a second or third agent on the deal because that's a lot of times when the clients are starting to be ready to listen to reality. So just, get to know, be around agents like myself, be around agents that'll be willing to share the stories that they've learned, the lessons that they've learned. Because the truth is, we could all write books, books and books and books about the craziness we experience and the learning curves that we get. And those are just two lessons that I really think is important to pay attention to who the people are, get your confidence, be knowledgeable about what you're out there, but be willing to say no. See the value in yourself. You will make more money in the long run. You'll be more respected and you will get more raving fans. Okay? So if you like this, hey, let's have a conversation below. If you disagree with me, well, do it nicely, but you can say it. And if you have ideas of what you think you would like to do or like help with, reach out to me. Let's schedule a business strategy call. I've got the link below and let's see if I can't be of service to you. I would love to. And definitely, this is just a tip going forward. You better get AI in your world because it is here. I'm teaching webinars on it. Watch my feed for that because you've got to learn it and you better learn it well because the ones that do are going to be the ones that thrive, not just survive. All right. See you on the next one.